Finally, they've made a Spider-Man movie. I'm so happy that we finally have a Spider-Man movie. I don't know what's taken so long. It's kind of weird that there's just been no Spider-Man movie up until now, and now finally we have one. It's pretty great too. Obviously, I'm joking. But there's like 5 other Spider-Man movies before now, and Spider-Man 2 has been my favorite up until now, and it's staying that way. And I don't know if it's nostalgia speaking or if I just can't fucking let go. I am pretty stubborn when it comes to the movies I like, so maybe I just can't let go. But Spider-Man 2 is still my favourite Spider-Man movie, even after seeing Homecoming. And I feel like an asshole for saying that Homecoming is my second favourite Spider-Man movie, because, I mean, the movies you have to compare it to are... not great. So in the lead up to watching Homecoming, I watched the first 2 Spider-Mans, and I watched the first Amazing Spider-Man, because I remember liking that more than the first Raimi Spider-Man. And going back, I've since changed my mind, and I still like the first Raimi Spider-Man more than I do Amazing. It's just fun. Those first 2 movies are really fun, and really great memorable action scenes. The acting's great. The writing's kind of, it's not great. It doesn't hold up. But they're just very memorable. They have really good fight scenes. I think I said that already. And they're just overall just great movies to watch. And there's this epicness to Spider-Man 2 that still hasn't been beaten, in my opinion. This is supposed to be a review. I'm just now realizing that this isn't supposed to be an opinion piece about how Spider-Man 2 is way better than Homecoming, because it's actually not way better. It's just preference. It's just my preference. Now, obviously, I've been anticipating this movie since they announced that Sony was going to work with Marvel to bring Spider-Man to the MCU. Tom Holland was fantastic in Civil War. The stuff they gave Spider-Man in that movie, even though he didn't do much, was fantastic. So there was a big build-up to this solo Spider-Man movie for me, and it delivered. It fucking delivered. This is the Spider-Man that everyone's been waiting for since the first Spider-Man movie. He's a high school kid, he has high school problems, and then he goes out and he fights crime, and that's Spider-Man in a nutshell. That's his whole shtick, and they fucking nail it. And obviously Spider-Man through the years, he's been a part of the Avengers, and he's gotten married, and you know, he's grown up over the years as he should in a comic book. And he's been on big adventures, and he's been, you know, on small little adventures around New York. And with this series, they're going to build up to the big stuff. Obviously, the 3rd Avengers movie comes out next year, and he's going to be in that, and, you know, they're going to be fighting Thanos and, you know, all the crazy shit that's going to be happening in that. And the one that comes after as well, obviously, but it's a 2-part movie, technically. But this is a good starting point for the character to show how different he is from every other Marvel character in the MCU. He's closest probably to Ant-Man in size and tone. So if you're the sort of person who doesn't like the smaller scale stuff like Ant-Man, this may not speak to you, but it suits Spider-Man. It suits the character. This is Spider-Man. And it's a coming-of-age movie. He's trying to find his place in the world, his place with the Avengers, and it shows how a lot of his personal life and school life suffers due to him being so focused on wanting to be a part of the Avengers. They do a great job setting the whole world up, setting up who he is as a person, Peter Parker. It's great to see him fail. He fails a lot in this movie. This movie is basically him just not getting a whole lot done, but he has to go through that to prove himself to Tony Stark and to himself as well. Like, that's the biggest thing, is like he has to prove to himself that he is capable of more than he thinks he is. There's great moments of comedy. All the actors are great in their roles. It's well written. It's very smart. It likes to do some little twists and turns here and there. I don't think the twists were as major as some people let on before I went to see the movie. People were like, oh my god, I didn't see that coming. Like, oh my god, it's so shocking. Everyone in the audience was like, it's not quite that fucking level. It's a cool little twist that happens. Michael Keaton's fucking great, just like he is in everything he does. The Vulture's a really good villain. I don't want to spoil too much about his character, but I like that they did a certain thing with him that they usually don't do with Marvel movies. That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, all the kids are great. Marissa Tomei is great as Aunt May. Obviously, she's a lot younger than you would expect from an Aunt May. She's like the cool aunt. She's like, hey, I'm cool, Aunt May. On the negative side of things, I don't really have a whole lot to say. It's a pretty great movie from top to bottom. I feel like maybe it dragged a little in the beginning, but once it gets going, it's very enjoyable to watch, and it's a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun. Some great homages to John Hughes movies, a very blatant Ferris Bueller reference. Actually, there's two. And this is first and foremost a comedy. It's not... I don't think it's very laugh out loud. Oh my god, that's so hilarious. It's not that kind of level of comedy, but it's very lighthearted for the most part, except for when it needs to be a Spider-Man movie. It doesn't make a huge impact on the MCU. This is about Peter Parker becoming Spider-Man. It's very insular. There's not a whole lot that's going to affect the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it still doesn't feel insignificant. It is an enjoyable film, and if you're willing to just go and just have fun, you will have fun. And that's probably the reason why it doesn't quite beat Spider-Man 2 for me. Spider-Man 2 was this epic movie. It was a huge thing, and this is just kind of... it's very small, and it's not a huge thing. And they don't try to make it a huge thing, because this is the first Spider-Man movie, technically. They don't spend too much time on origin stories or anything like that. There's a couple of little references, you know, like, yeah, the spider bit me, and my uncle's dead. But they don't say those things specifically. Overall, I just can't wait to see it again, honestly. I feel like this will be even better on repeat viewings. As much as I enjoyed it the first time, I think watching it second, third time, it's probably going to get even better. It's very enjoyable, it's very fun, and Spider-Man's like my favourite comic book character. He has been since I was in primary school. So this is a huge improvement over the last 3 Spider-Man movies. And like I said before, that's probably not saying much, but it's really fucking good. And definitely go see it. And let me know what you think of the movie in the comments below. So thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.